About a year and a half ago, behind the Theater Alliance office, 3 artists started to work on this triptych mural, and the themes that were reflected in that mural as it was coming up were all about women's empowerment. And you saw these 3 women artists working alongside each other and building this 3-part artwork that reflected a diversity of styles and colors, but all in harmony with each other. And Raymond came into the office one day and said, okay, so they're doing this thing outside. We have been exploring alternate means of storytelling beyond what is traditionally theater making through our digital season throughout the pandemic. How can we use something like this as a point of inspiration to go beyond the scope of a traditional work of theater and amplify women's voices, lift up women's experiences, and create opportunities for artists in other genres to be in the room making works of theater? We have a long history of incorporating poetry into theater making at Theater Alliance, and so this was unique in its multi-authorship, but it's not unique for Theater Alliance in bringing poetry to the stage. So we landed on this notion of a triptych, and in this 3-part iteration, we decided, okay, if we start with a team of writers, that's one panel in a sense, and that team was comprised of 4 women. We had Gabrielle Brant Freeman, Glenis Redmond, Sloan Stoddard, and Carmin Wong. And the idea was not writing by committee. The idea was not that they would all build a finished script, but rather give us the language and the text that the next teams could draw from and construct whatever they wanted this to be.
I can't remember who it was, but we talked about how do we want our ancestors to remember us? How do we leave the space so that we ensure that we are seen in whatever way we want to be seen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do we want to leave?
How to become your own superhero. Facing death, I know that there is more to life than what we all can see. In the ethers, I hold on to invisible cords of what mama and grandma passed down. Golden and silver cords of hope, courage, and faith.
While writing this piece, it helped me to really find myself, to figure out what it was that I was feeling in the midst of all of these experiences. And it gave me a place to really commune with other writers. I know we were virtual, but it was a space for me to really just listen, to really figure out what it was that I was experiencing, that I noticed a lot of people in my communities were experiencing, and try to put that into some sort of writing. I am both a poet, I'm a playwright, but more specifically, I'm someone who likes to blur the lines between genre. And for me, the choreopoem is a really beautiful way to do so. Of course, I can't take the credit for that, but I have been such a fan, such a lover of Ntozake Shange and her work, and so just experiencing that writing and being able to pour into that, right, and to be able to write from such a tradition, right, that thinks about not just the words, but also what this looks like with the body, what this looks like as a lived experience on the stage. And I think that the choreopoem does that so uniquely. So for me, being able to capture that this time around, specifically for this project, this was new for me. I'm used to entering spaces where I write choreopoems, I submit choreopoems, I share choreopoems, and sometimes the response is, what is this? What do we do with that? So to ask to not only bring my experience playwriting, but to also make sure that there is, poetry in this, that I don't have to shy away from that. That to me was just a gift.